All right, we're all good. Welcome back, everybody. Tuesday, November 12th. Since the last AMA, there's been quite a lot that's happened in the world and definitely in the world of crypto. So while I finish getting all these announcements out, um, let's start with you, Mitch. How has it felt so far in crypto? Obviously, Bitcoin's been making new all-time highs. I think last AMA when we were live, Bitcoin was trading at what was it? That would have been November
It
4th-ish.
was,
It was like 68K, and now
yeah, it was
we're at
election
87.
day.
Yep, it was election
It
day.
was,
We're at 87K now. So
yeah, it was before the post-election moonshot, which I definitely did not exploit in any way, shape, or form that feels satisfying. But whatever. It's always good to see the crypto go up.
yeah, and I mean you've been holding for a long time, obviously. So you're more referring to short-term
Yeah, 100%
stuff.
referring to short term, just in terms of like, adding any additional exposure for a potential, explosion to the upside. You want to be in a position to benefit both ways. And it's funny because I thought about doing both sides because I did put on a small hedge just in case things went the wrong direction, um, and decided not to put on the same position on the long side because I was like, all right, well, we're going to need a pretty big move for that to be profitable to cover both ends. We did indeed get that move, but so yeah, outside of a small Bitcoin buy Tuesday afternoon, and very, very small. Basically just holding the same bags I've been holding since you know, middle of this year, earlier this year. I did a little bit of dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin in the first like 6 months of the year, but not too much. Um, and then yeah, just holding everything else. Rune, still got my Rune bag for a few years now. What else? I bought a little bit of Ethereum actually on Wednesday, but all it really did was offset some ridiculously expensive gas fees that I paid because, as I mentioned to you prior, I moved my SummerFi loan,
That's right.
and in order to basically move that somewhere else, um, and especially I'm sure gas fees were extra juiced Tuesday, Wednesday with all the action. So yeah, I spent like. And I made a mistake too, so I had to unwind. Like I went into like the wrong loan, like it was opposite. So I ended up with a bunch of stable coin and only a little bit of Bitcoin. So I had to reverse that. So it was a hot mess, and I ended up spending like close to $500 in gas fees. So
Yeah,
that was annoying.
yeah, it's whenever you have to do anything with especially with those vaults because there's just so many transactions and they're expensive ones. So yeah, I usually
It
try to
always.
do my stuff with the vaults like in off hours, middle of the night or
Yep, yep,
just when there's not a lot of activity, but obviously sometimes you can't have it have your cake and eat it too. Um,
yep.
so yeah, I mean definitely been wild since the election. Eric, how what have you did you do anything prior to the election? Obviously, last time we chatted on the AMA, we were at 68K, so $20,000 difference in the price of Bitcoin. But did you do anything prior to the election? And if yes, what'd you do? If not, how are you feeling so far?
Uh,
Also, why is your head shaved? Maybe you shaved your head because you didn't do as much as you wanted.
I was gonna say things went that bad that he shaved his head.
He went full monk mode on us.
no, but so I was planning on doing something for shorting or longing. I was all prepared, and I ended up not doing anything, to be honest, because I thought it would be too shaky. I basically just stood on my hands and didn't do any trades since. I haven't bought or sold anything, and I don't think I plan to. At least until Bitcoin. Like the psychological. price of 100,000 is going to be very, very, what's the word? Interesting to see unfold, because you have all of the people that will want to front run that narrative, and you have all of the whales that will say, "Yeah, hell no, this is not happening. We are just going to better trap you guys, and we're gonna go higher." So I'm not sure how I'm gonna play it, but what I do know is that I am slowly selling all of my big bags and jumping into more of like conviction low cap players. I have some real world assets. I have a lot of exposure in memes, which is not something that I'm quite pleased with. But you know, I'm just playing the way that the market is playing right now, and yeah, it's gonna get shaky before it gets better. The run to 100,000 might happen this week. So yeah, I honestly have no idea.
Yeah, that's the big question I have too. Is like, are we going to get any kind of pullback or consolidation, or are we literally just going to go straight to 100? At this point, I'm hoping for some kind of pullback, maybe here, to then get long for that run to 100, assuming it happens. But yeah, it's tough to get long right now after that run we just had the last week.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, it is a little tough to get long on Bitcoin here just after everything that happened. And being at
which
all-time
might make
highs.
it which might make it like the good play, right? So if everyone is
Possibly.
thinking, oh, maybe I shouldn't go long, I mean, trying to go counter like contrarian could pay off.
I
So
mean,
I
listen, when Momo is Momoing, crazy shit can happen. And if you think about it, we're only like two big candles away from 100K. Like, think about it. Like, yesterday's candle was a 8K candle. We get two more of those, we're at 100K.
Yeah.
It could happen. I'm not gonna bet on it, but
Yeah, I mean, I think we could hit 100K like in the next couple days. I think what I basically called for the other day was that we would hit 90 and then retrace. Just because 90 I think is close enough to 100 that people will take profits. I'm going to be, and I put up some threads about this earlier this morning, but just to be completely honest and transparent, I have been taking some profits ever since we crossed 80K. I've been slowly legging out of Bitcoin and into cash right now. Prior to that, prior to the election move, and many of you know this, and if you're subscribed to me, then you definitely know this because I've been writing newsletters about it. I've been converting Bitcoin into Ethereum because I think Ethereum is super undervalued in Bitcoin terms, and I'm a big fan of this Bitcoin to ETH trade. Ethereum actually got a little bit of life in it the last couple days, so that ratio went from like 0.034 to zero point zero 0.04 ETH per Bitcoin. So looking solely at that, I think it is a decent trade, but um, I actually think like this post-election, just to, where Bitcoin is at right now, legging into dollars and then kind of seeing if there's a pullback. And then instead of going back into Bitcoin, I will most likely buy Ethereum and some other altcoins, kind of like what Eric's doing. Like altcoins have not caught up to the Bitcoin run yet. I mean, Rune, for example, is at 580 right now. I think it got up to as high as like 650 yesterday when Bitcoin was pushing 90K. But compare that to the all-time highs of last cycle, and it was like $18-20 per rune. And then even this cycle, like not like just a few months ago, 6 months ago or so, rune was up at like $12 momentarily. So the altcoin market, and then obviously Ethereum is far from its all-time high. I think it's like 50% away from its previous all-time high. So the altcoin market has not caught up yet. Bitcoin dominance is still over 60%. So I think I think if you are going to take profits because you've been sitting in Bitcoin for so long, which is the scenario that I'm in, I'm taking profits mostly into altcoins, not into cash. So, I did take some profits in the last couple of days into cash, but what I'm kind of anticipating is a little pullback here, and then I will leg those profits from cash to altcoins at an even better ratio. So, probably a lot of that's going to be like Ethereum, Rune, and Leo would be like my top three conviction plays in terms of the altcoin market. And prior to the election, just to talk about what I did, I actually was I think the night before or 2 nights before, I was looking at everything and I was very confident in a Trump win. And staying out of the politics. That's just what I believed. I thought it was basically a done deal. And I also believe that if he did win, it would send markets through the roof because, if you live in the US or you know people who do, you can talk to them and see that a lot of business owners have been hurting. The average person has been hurting, and hurting in terms of like actual, like going out and trying to buy, groceries or just live. And then they've also been hurting like in terms of business owners, struggling a little bit, and just the economy is not doing that well, and just perception of the future has not been good. So I, was a big, believer in the idea that Trump would win and then everyone would suddenly be optimistic again about the economy and about where things are going. And I thought that if he didn't win, people would be extremely pessimistic, even more than they already were, because they knew that the next 4 years would be identical to the last 4 years. And that ultimately wouldn't have been a good thing, economically speaking. So again, not to get into the politics of it, but I was pretty convicted that I had a high conviction that Trump was going to win and that was going to send markets to the roof. So I think it was the night before or 2 nights before the election, I took all of my cash and put it into the markets. So I went full bull mode. I put a lot of that into Rune and Ethereum, like I said. So I'm obviously pretty happy about that move. So that's another reason I'm kind of taking profits up here, is because I literally took my entire cash reserve and just dumped it into the markets in full anticipation that this was going to happen. Obviously, it happened even more so than I expected. So I knew we were going to see a bump in price if he won, but I didn't know it was going to be this dramatic. And to give a little more context too, the stock market has been just green candle after green candle. Today is the first red candle on the stock market since the win. So, just a slight pullback from a global market perspective has nothing to do with crypto, clearly, because the stock market's down, so Bitcoin's down slightly. But yeah, I think this win has been huge, and I played it correctly. I'm very happy with how I played it.
Yeah, I mean, the last week was sick. I mean, basically just rips for a week straight, and like you said, today's the first day we're seeing some red in both equities and crypto, which is fine. I mean, you got to have profit taking at some point. And it makes sense to taking profits because you put on fresh trades, Everyone else that's, didn't do anything new, I think is excited to see their bags inflating and getting pumped. And yeah, the question is this the beginning of a longer move, which a lot of people think. And I think you made a good point with talking about the alts, in that, yeah, Bitcoin's basically the only thing that's made a new all-time high. Ethereum hasn't, Rune hasn't, and so on and so forth. And there's some others out there that have, but for the majority of altcoins, they haven't done that. So, it got me thinking that does make it a smarter play. So, let's just say there's a viable pullback. It's like, do you buy Bitcoin or are you better off buying Ethereum? You're probably better off buying Ethereum in terms of potential upside. Because anything can happen, but it would be really strange to see, let's say, Bitcoin, hit 100K, and at some point Ethereum doesn't make a new high. That would be very strange for that to happen. So, the odds probably are favorable. So that's funny. I just actually got more bullish on ETH just from that simplistic thought of the whole new high thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's even the ratio right now is 0.037. So, like I said, I took some profits on Bitcoin. I think my last sell that went through was 88,700 or so. But like I said, I've just kind of been dollar cost averaging out since we hit 80K. So I would imagine the I would imagine that the average of that would probably be around like 85K ish. And when, if and when we see a little bit of a pullback, that's obviously going to affect Ethereum. And that ratio, that ETH Bitcoin ratio is going to get even better for me. And then considering the fact that I sold the Bitcoin at a higher USD price, I would get even more Ethereum, for that. So I think waiting for a pullback and then legging into something like ETH, or another altcoin that you're highly convicted about would be a good strategy, in my opinion. But obviously, we're kind of in an interesting crypto market because Bitcoin has a lot of driving narratives behind it, and then obviously you've got TradFi and even governments talking about owning more Bitcoin, and you got obviously MicroStrategy just continuing to hammer in the buys. I think their last buy was at like 75K Bitcoin, so they're not stopping anytime soon. And I think that that's kind of an indicator that there's a lot of focus on Bitcoin right now.
And I think we spoke about this on the previous AMA or maybe in the previous one. But if Trump won and he actually goes through with the Bitcoin reserve, then we might see different countries trying to front run that move. And I think not that we're seeing it already, but he's really pushing for this. And of course, because you have Elon speaking to his ear, telling him what's a good move, what might not be a good move, etc., etc. And the cool thing about all of this is that Elon is turbo bullish on Doge. There's also, this the strategic, the Department of Government Efficiency, and it's just gonna get more crypto and more crypto and more crypto related as the weeks go by. And there's rumors that the strategic Bitcoin reserve will go into place on the first 100 days of his I don't know the word of his cycle of his 4 years. So it's about to get heavy.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really interesting time for crypto just in general. But yeah, like I said, you got to position yourself in the right ways. So that's probably going to be a mixture of Bitcoin and some altcoins that you're deeply familiar with. So definitely going to be interesting. That's for sure. We can guarantee that it'll be interesting. Let's get into some Leo stuff now that we've kind of covered the markets and where everything is going. I've been just watching the Threadcast as well, pulling up some of the questions. But yeah, I saw some talk about the Hive Lite accounts. Obviously, we first released Hive Lite accounts back in 2020 was the first iteration of Hive Lite accounts that we launched. And it was actually for MetaMask. So we had MetaMask, the ability to sign up and sign into Hive using MetaMask. And then that obviously has evolved over time, and we've added new features to it, and then just improved the overall system. And then we ended up actually pulling back and removing the MetaMask option just because I didn't really like the way it worked. And I saw a better path kind of moving forward. So for the last couple of years and as of today, we have X and Google as the authentication methods. We also used to have phone number, but then I also removed that. I didn't really like the way it worked. So now it's X and Google Lite accounts that we've got. And then the Dash integrations, which we've talked about, and I see Joel in the audience as well. And I think we're going to have, by the way, I'll talk to Joel just to double check and confirm, but I think he'll be on Chain Chatter tomorrow to talk about obviously INLEO and Dash and collaborating and building our ecosystems together. But the Dash integrations are something that I'm really excited about, and I think it's going to bring a massive wave of new users to INLEO, and I also think it's going to be that's obviously a value prop for us, And then I also think it's going to be, a huge moment for Dash as well, where, Dash has really focused on payments and making it really easy to spend Dash. And I think this is going to introduce a really cool way for everyone who likes Dash, loves Dash, uses Dash, to actually earn Dash. So they'll be able to, and I don't want to get into too many of the intricate details of the Lite accounts, of the Dash Lite accounts and how that's going to work today, but we will get into it when we get closer to launch. So the development and integration of it has taken some twists and turns, designing it, and then obviously rolling it out has taken some twists and turns. And the way I originally wanted to do it is not the way we're actually doing it. But I think what we've actually landed on is even better than the original design. So I'm really happy with what we built and designed. And I think that it's even bigger than what we originally planned, and it will open us up to even more. It'll open up even more doors for onboarding people to INLEO, through Dash and otherwise. So, again, like come to Chain Chatter tomorrow. I think Joel will be on, and we'll kind of get into some more of the details. But essentially, we're just making it extremely easy for anyone who, is obviously a Dash user to sign up and join INLEO and then start using the platform. And it will automatically, they'll be able to hit a setting to automatically earn their rewards in Dash. So, Leo Dex, we've made the first step of this integration was to fix Leo Dex, fix Leo Dex's Hive aggregator and launch the second version of the Hive aggregation technology that we've built. So the first iteration was kind of complex to use, and sometimes your transactions would get stuck and then you'd have to retry, and it just wasn't a really good user experience. So what we wanted to do was automate that entire process so that you could click one button or maybe two buttons, and then it would swap any Hive asset to any asset that's listed on Maya protocol and vice versa. And also a part of that, and the reason why we kind of rushed it and put it up at the top of the list to launch LeoDex V2 for the Hive aggregator is for the Dash integration. So, automating those swaps has been really important because now with the automation in place, we can allow Dash users to earn in Dash, and they'll earn their rewards automatically in Dash in their Dash wallet. And the way that works is those users will be earning obviously Leo, Hive, and HBD. And then when it reaches a certain dollar figure, right now the rough figure we're using is about $10. It just has to make sense from a fee perspective. It will auto convert those rewards into Dash using Leo Dex as the backend. So let's just say there's $10 in total rewards in their Hive account that we've obviously created for them using Leo Infra and our Hive Lite account protocol. It will convert that $10. So it will basically swap the $10 from the assets that it's in. It's going to be a makeup of Leo, Hive, and HBD, and then it will convert it through LeoDex's backend. So it swaps from Leo, for example, just the Leo part. Actually, if it's Leo, Hive, or HBD, it'll swap it all into Leo, and then it'll go from Leo to Arbitrum Leo, and then from Arbitrum Leo, it will swap on LeoDex to Dash. Obviously, you can already do a Leo to Dash swaps using LeoDex. So that conversion process happens all autonomously on the back end. The user doesn't have to do anything to initiate it. It's just literally they connect their accounts, and then it's just automatically paid. So like imagine a Dash user becomes active on INLEO. They're using the platform on a monthly basis, here and there, making some threads, maybe making some blog posts, etc. And then they are, if they check their Dash wallet, say once a month, and just assume that they're earning like $15 a month on average. Once a month, they'll just like look at their Dash wallet, and there's going to be $15 worth of Dash that's obviously added to their balance. So just a really, really easy to use experience, and that's really important to us. Luis said, "What are we going to do with the earn Dash?" Well, you're not going to be earning in Dash. It's the Dash users that are going to be earning in Dash. So they can do whatever they want with the Dash. Dash is and the entire Dash project is really focused on spending Dash, obviously in the real world, using it as a currency. So, I think there's a lot of use cases for Dash, obviously. And so whatever those users want to do with that Dash is up to them. But the key is that we can now advertise the INLEO platform as a platform where you can join, you can sign up, and earn in Dash. And I think that that's a really important, sales pitch to all the Dash users is like, this is an easy to use protocol. You're using, a Dash wallet to sign in and sign up. You're earning in Dash, in the Dash crypto, in a Dash wallet. You don't have to deal with any other wallets or do anything. So it's pretty incredible. And I think it really opens up the doors to having an experience that people actually want to use and join. Two kind of key things about it is that INLEO needed to build a social experience that's actually fun to use and engaging and rewarding. By adding features like threads and shorts and creator subs and premium. We had to build the actual product. Now that we've got that product, I think a key piece is that people from other blockchains and crypto ecosystems don't want to have to come in and learn a whole new wallet. They don't want to have to earn in some other crypto that they then have to convert to the crypto that they actually want. And so for using Dash again as the example, these Dash users will come in and the value proposition of actually earning Dash, they're not dealing with Hive, HVD, or Leo. They are literally earning in Dash, and it's just autonomously paid into their wallet that they're already familiar with. That's the key value proposition. So I think that's pretty incredible. And again, I see like a couple different comments of people saying, why would I earn Dash? You guys won't be earning Dash. It's the Dash users that will earn Dash. You're going to keep earning in Leo, Hive, and HVD, which is what you're familiar with. That's the entire point of this is meet the users where they are. Don't try to convert everybody into your way of thinking. And by meeting users where they are, what we're doing is we're saying, okay, you like Dash. Now you can sign in with a Dash wallet and earn in Dash. And I think that's really, really an important way to sell this platform and grow, obviously to our 10,000 monthly active user goal and beyond.
Ahmad Mag is asking, bring emoji reactions to Threadcasts.
Yeah, there's going to be a big Threadcast update at some point in the future. But right now, the focus is users and onboarding. So every development that you see is going to be centered around making the platform better for new users and onboarding them more easily and obviously giving them the features that are important. That's a very inward-facing feature. So that will come later, but not right now. Nylon asked a good question. How hard would it be to make many covers of the same product as Dash are getting, say, Bitcoin or Ethereum, that would catch some attention? So we are 100% focused on the Dash integration right now. But one of the things I'm excited about the new approach that we're taking is that it will create a framework where we can then use that framework that we're building for Dash first, and we can use it for other cryptos, and it can be any crypto that is listed on the Maya protocol. So obviously any crypto that Maya supports will be able to use this exact same framework. So for example, you mentioned Bitcoin and Ethereum. Let's just use Bitcoin as an example. We'll be able to tell people sign up, log in, and earn in Bitcoin using a Bitcoin wallet. And we'll be able to do all of that with the rails that we're building for Dash. And then what we're going to do is, so I mentioned this a few times, but for the Dash integration, when you sign up and choose that Dash is your default currency and your default theme for INLEO, it actually changes the entire front end to be very Dash focused. You'll see Dash branding across the UI. You'll also see that, like right now, the default when you sign up and join INLEO is that it shows you the payout values in dollars. Instead of dollars, when you choose Dash, it's going to show you the payout value in Dash. And then when you go to your wallet, you'll see, obviously the Dash conversions, like when you earn up to $10, or it'll actually show you like you're at $2 out of 10. And when you get to $10, then it will convert it to Dash and send it to your Dash connected wallet. So that adds actually another kind of gamification layer to things where I think people will sign into INLEO. They'll see, oh, I've earned, $9.37 out of $10. And if I earn another, 63 cents, then the conversion will go through and then I'll get $10 worth of Dash in my Dash wallet. So that kind of adds a whole other experience as well. But like I said, when you flip on this setting, it makes the UI look like it was built for Dash. And that is the important part to me, is that I want to make the product, INLEO, look like it was built from the beginning for a Dash user. And I think that there's a couple of important reasons to that, but obviously the biggest one being, this is meant to cater to Dash users and make them feel, at home, and that they're, on a platform that highly supports Dash and is obviously, catering to them. I may have cut out for a second there because I got a phone call, but hopefully you guys caught most of that.
Oh, when's gonna be the Dash sticker available on INLEO? That's a good one.
Yeah, we'll add it soon. We use CoinGecko and basically we just use like the top listed cryptos to get that list. So we're just gonna have to expand the list. Luis said, so I can simply create a new Dash wallet and so experience for myself a Dash theme social media of Web3 front end. Interesting. Yeah, it's you're gonna come to INLEO. You're obviously gonna see that it's INLEO, and then you're gonna click sign up, and then you'll be able to sign up and connect with a Dash wallet. And we'll kind of explain more of how that works when we get closer to launch. But you'll essentially just log in. You'll have a Dash wallet connected, and then you will earn. You will see a front end that is obviously still INLEO, but then all the payout values are in Dash. It'll have like obviously the Dash color theme. And then when you earn, and when you go to your wallet and you look at your earnings, it will say, for example, $2 out of $10 earned until your next conversion. And then when you get to the $10, that's when it will convert into Dash and send it to your Dash wallet that you're connected with. So yeah, it is from a user perspective, it's very interesting and just very easy to use. It's meant to just be like stupidly simple, where you use Web3 social media, you earn in the crypto that you want to earn in. Yeah, I saw Ahmad Manga also say something, but yeah, it's the same front end. Like the front end doesn't change, URLs don't change, nothing changes except for the look of the front end slightly changes to be a little bit more Dash focused in the ways I just described. And then obviously the back end. So we did LeoDex first. LeoDex is actually done now. And it's we're just testing it to make sure everything works well with the automation. So that part of things is actually done. And I wanted to do that first because in my mind it was a lot harder to do than everything else, just because it focuses obviously on trading and moving money across the blockchain. So working with multiple blockchains and being able to automatically move the capital across those chains in order to convert them obviously was the hardest part in my opinion. So we did that first. It's already done, and now we're just focused on the login method. And you guys see a little teaser actually on the Threadcast. I put a little teaser screenshot of the new login screen. So when Dash users come in and they log in, that's what they're going to see. That's only like half the screen, and then I also blocked some things out. But you kind of see where things are headed in terms of that, and it's a very cool integration. I think it's just incredible.
Cal, so how easy, okay, so this one paves the road for any kind of personalization or customization of the UI. How what's the word? How easy is it gonna be for us to customize many layers of the UI? So maybe, I don't know, we could do a Maya theme UI, etc., etc.
Yeah, it's like I said, the focus is going to be on Dash, but the framework that we build will be pretty easy to use as a template for anything else that's listed on Maya. So, for example, like Cacao or Thorchain Rune, we'll be able to really seamlessly just kind of copy paste. It's actually, and like I said, that's part of the reasons I'm excited is the way we went about the sign up login method wasn't what I originally intended or set out to do. But what we've done is actually just make it a lot easier to then integrate all of those other cryptos. So, earn in Bitcoin or earn in ETH or earn in Cacao or earn in Rune. All that stuff will be possible. So I kind of laid out a rough plan that we're obviously 100% focused on Dash and the integration there, and then making it really successful and working with the Dash team to really promote it and bring in a lot of users. And then after that, I've talked to Joel a little bit. He mentioned Zcash, and then so we'll see how that unfolds. But I also see a pretty clear path to then going after the Maya user base by making a Maya theme with Earn Cacao as being the tagline. And then I see after that being, another really clear path to being a Thorchain theme and Earn and Rune being another pretty clear integration that we can do. So
Nice.
yeah,
Yeah, and it makes
I think
sense.
it'll be really big for everybody. Enter the threadcast.
Behavior has a good question. Is INLEO using the Dash API for wallet operations, or how much of it is using?
It's essentially using Leo Dex to do all those conversions. In terms of any Dash APIs, if and when we add some of the Dash wallet displays, like showing your wallet balance in Dash, etc., those will obviously use the Dash APIs for pulling wallet balances. Winana said, it's amazing how INLEO is focusing on communities. It's best for fast growth and onboarding more users and owners. Yeah, I agree. I mean, INLEO is obviously a platform where you can talk about anything. I mean, you could talk about gardening, you could talk about, monkeys riding bicycles if you want. But I think that a pretty clear audience and target audience for us is anyone that's in crypto already. We're obviously a social media platform, but we're also a tokenized social media platform with our own cryptocurrency. So, targeting crypto audience, crypto audience members and people that are already a part of some other crypto community is just a really clear target audience for us. A pretty seamless onboarding experience, and they're already familiar with, crypto tokenization, tokenomics, rewards in general, and the idea of mining rewards. Most people in crypto are very familiar with that. And again, you mine Leo by being active on the platform. So, it's not a big, it's not a big leap to onboard someone who's already in crypto.
Matt Banga, which wallet will be used to log in with Dash? It'll be confusing is if there were 10 plus login options when you have 10 new coins as well.
It's not going to be confusing. It's going to be extremely easy, and we will talk about that more when we get closer to launch. But it's going to be super easy. And without giving too much away, it will be one login option for all of those. So I won't give too much away, but that's how that's going to work. Samuel said, earning in Rune will be big for everyone. Yeah, it'll be, the earn in rune tagline would obviously be a nice way to go after some Thorchain people. And I obviously have some connections in the Thorchain ecosystem and have been investing in rune since it was like 40 cents. So, yeah, I would love to go after, obviously the Thorchain community, some point soon, after all this stuff gets rolled out. And we obviously prove the template. A big theme, with the team that I've been using is, we need to, work, focus on one thing, make it really successful, and then use that as a template to scale it. So you obviously need to have success with it before you then scale something. And I think that that's a big trap that a lot of people get into, is they try to do too many things at once, before seeing any real success in one of those things. So that's why I keep reiterating that we're 100% focused on Dash and making the Dash integration extremely successful. It's not like we're just rolling this stuff out and then saying, okay, here we're done. We're going to be rolling this integration out. There's going to be a lot of things that we need to test, fix, deploy. And that's just from the technical side of things. Then you also have the entire way that we do, marketing and ultimately onboard new users, and the flow behind that and the messaging we use. So we're doing all of that with Dash and with the Dash team. And we need to make that extremely successful before we even start thinking about the next integration. So, my whole point is make this really successful and then use it as a template, for other communities. So the entire focus will be making this very successful. Beehive asked another good question. Will INLEO features like premium or creator subscriptions be payable in Dash? Will the Dash version inherit all INLEO features? So to take the second part first, I think it's really important to remember that the UI is like, imagine when you actually can already do all of this stuff manually. So if you go to the settings page, you can already change the currency that things are displayed in. So you can make it like your local currency if you want, instead of US dollars, which is the default. You can also change the color of the UI. So you can do both of those things already in the settings. With the Dash integration, it's going to be, you select that you are a Dash user, and then the UI just literally changes the colors and the payout values. And then you might see some other Dash branding in various places of the UI. So it is literally the same UI. It's just kind of reskinned. So it's still INLEO.io. Everything's identical, 100% identical. There's nothing that an INLEO user now can do that a Dash user can't do. So it's all the same. They're just logging in with a different login method than most of us use, which is, most of us are on like Hive Keychain or Leo Auth, for example. So that's the second part of your question. The first part, will INLEO features like premium and creator subs be payable in Dash? Yeah, so this is the other route. So I already talked about that you'll be able to get your payouts, your rewards paid to your Dash wallet automatically. The other route to that is that you'll actually be able to use Dash to then buy stuff on INLEO. And obviously the two things that you can buy right now are premium, which is 10 HBD a month, but you can then buy it with $10 worth of Dash. So you'll use $10 worth of Dash to buy premium. That'll be one thing you can do. And then the creator subs right now only accepts HBD, but with the Dash integration, it will now accept Dash as well. So you'll be able to use $5 worth of Dash to subscribe to other creators on the platform. And the way that works, it will actually be the other side. So it's kind of the flip side to the rewards matrix, where when you earn, for example, if $10 is the threshold, when you earn $10 worth of rewards on INLEO, those $10 then get automatically converted into Dash using LeoDex's backend. The reverse will be true when you do a premium. Let's just use premium as the example. When you subscribe for premium, you'll send $10 worth of Dash through LeoDex using the INLEO UI. It'll obviously do all of this on the back end. And then it will convert that $10 worth of Dash it'll go from Dash to Arbitrum Leo. It'll unwrap from Arbitrum Leo to Leo, and then it'll convert the Leo into HBD and send it to the @Leo pool account, where it will then actually buy back Leo later. So all of this stuff is actually creating a lot of transaction volume, a lot of back and forth for the Leo token on all the different pools. So on the Leo Hive pool and on the Leo Cacao pool, and it's also creating built-in trading volume for Leo Dex. So the affiliate fees and just the Leo Dex trade route will now be like a built-in. It'll basically have built-in volume. So, like, for example, if Dash users as a whole earn $5,000 a month in rewards, that's $5,000 a month in built-in trading volume for Leo Dex. And then that's the rewards part. And then say that Dash users then also buy, let's just say collectively they spend $1,000 a month on the UI on premium. That's now $1,000 in built-in trading volume for Leo Dex as well. So that's, if you combine them, would be $6,000 a month in built-in trading volume on Leo Dex, and that would also be $12,000 in pool trading volume, since you obviously have both sides of the pools getting used for the aggregator. So it creates a lot of exponentials, in my opinion, just a lot of different areas where the trading volume will be increased because of all the automated swapping that's happening on the back end. Beehiver was asking about how Dash wallet related transactions will be used. There's no wrapping. How will they be? I think you're overcomplicating it. It's as I just described. They'll log in, sign up and log in. They'll have a Dash wallet connected, and they'll choose to earn in Dash. They'll do everything that a normal Hive user does right now. But then when their rewards reach $10, it will automatically convert them to Dash and send them to their Dash wallet. So it's actually very simple. It's even more simple than you're thinking. There's not going to be any Vic Van asked if there would be Dash liquidity pools. There's not going to be any because we don't need any. So again, I don't know if you guys remember, but when we launched Leo on Maya, when we were listed on the Maya protocol, I was saying this is the pool to end all pools, because when we launched on Maya, it's a cross chain liquidity protocol. And what that means is we got listed and now can be traded with Bitcoin, Ethereum, USDC, everything. So there's no Enrune and all the others. There is no need for a Dash pool because you can already trade Leo with Dash. You just use my protocol to do it. So we'll be using the Leo Cacao pool to trade to Dash because that's how Maya works. So that Maya listing was also a critical integration to make this possible. Nylon asks, is there any security risk with the automation? We've seen exploits in the past. V4V was hit last week for a decent sum. How safe is the ecosystem to outside attacks? So that's a good question. I'm not familiar with the V4V. I know that it was hit. I don't know why or how. But it is very safe. It uses all the rails that have been in place for Leo cross-chain trading for now 4 years. So we've had this technology for 4 years. It's not brand new. All we've done is add automation. So CPOL asks, do these conversions keep the price of Hive down? No, they don't. Not at all. So the majority of rewards earned by INLEO users is Leo, first of all. So Hive HBD are kind of an afterthought in terms of rewards, but they are still earned. And like I said, it's two-sided. So as Dash users earn in Dash, they also buy stuff using Dash, which is then converted into Hive HBD and Leo. So, being that we are simply increasing the user base, you are creating a two-way flow. If it was only a one-way flow, I think it could create downward pressure. But honestly, keep in mind that like a good amount of people who earn rewards on this blockchain are already automatically selling it. They're selling everything that they get. So it's I think the mindset that you need to lock people in and say, okay, if you earn rewards, you need to keep them staked. I think that's not a good mindset. You should actually just make it really easy for the people who want to sell, and make it really easy for the people who want to buy. So I think that and you can see a lot of other ecosystems that have done that and done both, actually, some that have locked people in and some that haven't. When people don't feel locked in, that's when they actually want to invest and own the asset, whether it's Hive Power, or Leo Power. Another thing that I haven't really talked about in the past, talking about this integration, is that these users will be earning some of their rewards in Hive Power, and we're not going to be automatically powering down that Hive Power. It will be automatically, obviously, they're earning it in Hive Power, and it will just kind of stack in their account. So they are actually earning Hive that will most likely never get sold. I mean, unless they went out of their way to power it down and sell it manually, it will never get sold. So the rewards that are getting sold are only the liquid rewards, which is Leo and HBD. So I think that that's another good point for anyone that has that question, is that they'll be earning Hive Power, and they're not, they're kind of incentivized to keep that Hive Power as Hive Power unless they want to manually go around and sell it.
And you know what? So we have, again, and this is understandable because Hive has been like this. Hive teaches us to be like this. So it's nobody's fault. But we have this conundrum again of the scarcity mentality versus the abundance mentality. And what I mean by this is pretty simple. Would you rather our 1,000 users to keep staking all the time and to be oh no, I have to hoard all of my Hive Power? Or would you rather have 5,000 more users, and then maybe some of them will sell, some of them will stake, some of them will keep the HBD, etc., etc. And what I mean by this is pretty simple. So this integration will open the door to many users or potential users that will know or get to know about Dash and about INLEO and about all of the things that we're building. And in the end, yes, some of them might sell. If a majority of them sells, that's okay, because we're putting Hive and INLEO in front of thousands of more people than what we are used to seeing. So I would just recommend people to stop thinking on, oh, what's going to this do to the price of Hive? Well, the price of Hive hasn't moved in years. Well, I mean, of course it has, but you know what I mean. But we need eyes, we need more eyes, and we need more people knowing that Hive exists and that we are a thriving ecosystem with users, with a lot of things that many other ecosystems do not simply have. So yeah, that's just my 2 cents. Let's just get out of this scarcity mentality that we keep having.
Yeah, it's definitely a good way to put it. Eric put it a good way, is that it's a scarcity mindset to worry about rewards. And I think that that's what a lot of people on Hive are worried about. And they spend a lot of time thinking about how, and I'm not saying that this is C-Pole, by the way, who asked the original question. He was asking actually a good question about how the conversions work. But I'm talking about a broader mindset that exists on Hive, which is very much like looking inwards, looking at the existing user base, and seeing how you can get a bigger share of the existing user base and the existing rewards, as opposed to a mindset of let's grow. And I always talk about this: grow the pie, grow the entire size of Hive. Why are we so focused on where rewards are going and the current user base of Hive? We need to focus on getting more people into this blockchain, familiar with the ecosystem, with Hive wallets, with private keys, aware of how the blockchain works. We need more actual users, more active accounts is what we need. Hive's monthly active user base has been declining for years. So I think that, I think one of the, and actually a few people who I won't name just because I don't know if they'll want me to, a few people came up to me at Hive Fest and said they thought and think that INLEO is Hive's last hope in terms of getting users. It's like, they were telling me about how, they look around at other projects and everybody's just infighting over the existing user base rather than trying to go outside of that user base and really focus on the external world to bring fresh blood into the ecosystem. So, a couple of these people came up to me at Hive Fest and they were just telling me that they don't stop doing what we're doing and make sure you keep pushing, because, Hive needs these users in order to succeed. If we don't get more users, the blockchain is simply going to keep slow. It's like a slow bleed. We're just going to keep bleeding users, and we're going to have less and less users on a daily basis. And Hive will not succeed in that environment. What we need is more active users that join the blockchain on a consistent basis. And again, these integrations are all externally facing. None of them are, and a lot of you guys have asked good questions, but some of the questions you ask is like, how does this affect me as an existing Hive user? And the answer is it's not intended to really affect you in terms of like, you're not intended to earn Dash. You're not intended to, have all these automations. These are intended for new users. They're intended for people that are not here right now. The benefit that you will get as an existing user is that the user base is going to grow. So as an existing user, you probably own Hive Power. You probably own Leo Power. You're going to benefit from the growth of new users. That's how you benefit as an existing user. And these new users are all going to benefit from the new features that we are creating specifically to make their life better for joining this platform. I saw Luis88 ask a few questions about how the accounts actually work. They work identically to full Hive account. The user has a full Hive account with private keys. And I will talk more about how the private keys are secured and why these are considered Lite accounts. I'll talk more about that when we get closer. But they are full Hive accounts. If you were to look at the account of a Dash user and compare it to a Hive user, it's identical.
I am still amused that you brought up a fundamental point that has been true since Hive was Steam and before INLEO even existed, and it's something that unfortunately the Hive blockchain community, I guess, continue to ignore, and that is grow the user base. Like it's literally been the number one most important thing for 7, 8 years now, regardless of like what the name of the blockchain was, and somehow it just never was a priority. And that's not to say there wasn't initiatives that tried to do that. There were some, but they're usually community driven. But those that are in a higher position, so to speak, whether it be through running a dApp, a protocol, holding a lot of Hive, whatever it is, it really needs to come from there, especially. So, yeah, it's amusing and frustrating for someone that's been around this blockchain for 7+ years to see the lack of growth and really just how stagnant to a point the Hive blockchain itself has been in terms of just user growth. Ideally, INLEO can solve that problem, but yeah, the dApps are ideally the ones that are going to do that, and at least we're seeing positive progress. But yeah, I'm at this point just a grumpy old man in the Hive ecosystem. It's true. Like I'm like all set. I don't even pay attention to Hive anymore. Like I have Hive Power just sitting there. I stay active on INLEO. I mean, the reality is if Leo didn't exist, I wouldn't even be active on the Hive blockchain at all anymore. I would have ghosted it 3 years ago.
I can subscribe to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard multiple people say that as well. I obviously hold a lot of Hive Power for a lot of reasons. One is that INLEO needs it as a project, and I think that that's actually the value prop of Hive, which I've talked about a lot, is that I don't think that the average user needs to have Hive. I think it's the project owners that need to have Hive in order to grow. And in order for because essentially Hive doesn't have free data storage. It just has rechargeable credits for data storage. So, and it's very cheap. So like most of us don't even think about, we always say fast and free transactions, which Hive does have. But when you store stuff on Hive, when you store data, there's a cost to it. But that cost is paid by having some Hive Power staked. And you get resource credits, and all of us here already know that. But when you reach scale, which Hive has not done yet, and no projects on Hive have really reached this scale yet, Like imagine a future where INLEO has 1 million monthly active users. And we don't want to have to tell our users, oh, you have to go out and buy 15 Hive power, by the way, otherwise you won't be able to make comments anymore. We want to instead buy 15 Hive power for ourselves as the project, stake it, and then delegate the resource credits to each user. So over time, imagine a future again where Leo has 1 million monthly active users, and 90% of those users don't know what Hive is, don't have any Hive, and they don't need to. The INLEO project will have to have millions and millions. I don't even know, with 1 million monthly active users, we'd need 10 million plus Hive power easily in order to service those users and all the data that we need to store. So the real use case for millions of Hive getting bought off the market and staked is projects like INLEO succeeding. And if you're a Hive stakeholder, you should be doing everything you can to help projects like INLEO. And obviously, it's not just INLEO; it's Splinterlands and other apps on this blockchain. Help them and get them to succeed, and that's what's going to make Hive go up in price. This idea that like the masses, the millions of masses, are going to suddenly come in and start buying Hive power, it's a pipe dream. I don't think it's going to happen. I think what's going to happen is you're going to have a couple successful applications on this blockchain that each get millions of users and then need to buy millions of Hive as a result. Luis's witness is already storing over 500 gigs of data from the entire blockchain. Yeah, it's the bigger this blockchain gets in terms of users and activity, the more expensive it's going to become to store data on it. So the success of INLEO will then require other projects to start investing in Hive power. The success of other Hive projects will require INLEO to have to buy more Hive power. So you want this blockchain to succeed, get apps more users. That's what's going to make this blockchain succeed. You look at blockchains like Ethereum, and I use this as a good example, or Solana, or any of these other chains. They all have gas fees, and that's the primary value proposition. The more usage their blockchain gets, the more gas fees get generated, and that makes it more profitable for miners. And then each one has their own kind of value capture mechanism for gas fee revenue. But all these other chains have a gas fee mechanism, and that is how they generate their value. Hive is no different. It just has a different setup in terms of how gas fees are paid, and that's because it's obviously got the recharge. I like to call it like a rechargeable gas tank. That's how I refer to it. Kind of like an electric car, if you think about it. Like with an electric car, like you never have to go out and buy gas. You just recharge. You plug it in and you recharge it, right? So it's not that dissimilar to that. Alex works. So projects need to have HP for resource credits. That's why we need more projects. Yeah, I mean, and I'll actually say, I mean, I do want to see more projects on Hive, but we actually need more successful projects. I mean, there's a lot of projects on Hive. There's a lot that have come and gone, but we need projects that have thousands, hundreds of thousands, and millions of users. That's how Hive is going to succeed. And Luis said, there's so many projects out there to grow the Hive user base. There are a lot of projects out there, but show me one that's actually growing. I mean, that's the thing, is like, I'm not trying to dunk on any projects, but the Hive user base as a whole is declining, and we need to change that. That's why I've been like feverishly chasing after more monthly active users for years now. And really this year we've just kind of stepped it up to a whole new level. And we'll continue to do so for the rest of this year, especially with the Dash integration and these other project integrations. But it's like the user base is declining. We need to change that, and that's the entire premise of INLEO, is how do we change that? I see a comment from Mitch. The infighting on the Hive blockchain is what drove me nuts the most. But I guess you get that on any chain because people are involved and people generally suck. Yeah, that's pretty funny. It's true. I mean, it is really true. It's the infighting is just stupid. That's why I don't do any of it. And then people get mad because I don't do any of it. They're like, "Oh, why are you ignoring me?" I'm like, "I'm not ignoring you. I just don't feel like fighting. I feel like looking outside, not inside." It's like, imagine being locked in a house and all you did was just look inside. You look at your own walls. You never look outside. You never go outside. You never explore the world. It's like, it's stupid. I've never done it. I've never done it.
Well, it's not productive. I mean, I call it the opt-out strategy, and people hate it. And I think of it because, like, obviously, with the election that just happened, there's plenty of infighting amongst friends and family over the election. And I was on a podcast like a week before, and they were talking some politics, and there was one guy who I'm not going to get into which his political views was, but he got so frustrated with me that basically it seemed like my strategy for most things was opt out. And I'm just like, you can feel however you want to feel. I was just like, I don't have to opt into the crazy, or I don't have to opt into battling you because you're annoyed or you look at things different. Like, I'd rather spend time on something productive.
Right.
So ain't nothing wrong with the opt-out strategy.
It works very well, honestly. It'll piss people off. It's like if someone's mad at you, the best strategy is to ignore them or smile at them. And that obviously pisses them off even more, but it's the best strategy. It makes you walk away happy knowing that, you had no part in escalating something stupid. So,
Yeah. I mean, listen, there's times to debate things, and there's times to, work through things, and there's times to, have conviction. But I think that's much more rare than the amount of times people get caught up in the nonsense and essentially waste time, energy, and resources.
I agree.
Keep it moving, keep growing, get busy living or get busy dying.
Exactly. Or piss or get off the pot. It's another one I
There you
like.
go. Yeah, it's like the one I had a boss when I was like in my early 20s, had a sign where I was working in a warehouse, and he had a sign that said, do something, lead, follow, or get the hell out of the way.
Yeah, I like that
And
one.
it's true. Yeah, it's like, if you're not going to lead, then follow. And if you're not going to follow, then just get out of the damn way.
Absolutely. Yeah, and there's just so much to do. I mean, it's like, I don't wake up on a daily basis and go, oh, what messages do I want to respond to today? It's like there's just so much to do. That's insane. I mean, there's no way to even do it all. So you got to pick the right things to do and the right things to focus on. And I think a lot of people just focus on the wrong things, and then they obviously get bitter over time. Beehiver said, Dash once did a Dash branded coffee project to promote Dash in coffee shops. I wonder if INLEO could onboard users in real and traditional places somehow. So, I wanted to pick this question because there's a couple interesting things happening right now. So, two things I'll mention. One, and there's others too, which we'll get into in the growth call on Thursday. One of them is that Sunseeker is doing an in-person meetup for INLEO. We'll obviously talk more about that as it approaches, and I want her to capture some good content to share. I see she's in the audience already, so we're going to capture some good content from that. But she's doing an in-person meetup with people that don't have Hive accounts, don't have any exposure to INLEO or the blockchain, obviously, and she's going to onboard them all in person and teach them why INLEO can make a positive difference in their life. So that is going to be really interesting to see. Basically, the model for that I really wanted to chase after as well is it's more like a classroom model where I'm hoping that she gets around 30. It's kind of like my goal for her is like get around 30 people to show up and get all those people onboarded and taught about INLEO. Obviously we don't expect every single person to remain as an active user. But if some material percentage of them remain as a active user, I think it would be very valuable. And doing that, I think is just really, it's like the hand-to-hand combat strategy. Like, you onboard 15 people in person, you get those 15 people as monthly active users and engaged and active on a regular basis. They invite 15 of their friends, and you just keep going from there. So Sunseeker is going to be doing the very first INLEO in-person meetup, and then I'm hoping it's very successful. And then we take that model, kind of like what I mentioned earlier, make that model really successful, and then scale it up once you have success with it. So we're going to focus on making that one really successful, and then from there we'll try to do it in other places. I mentioned this to Eric the other day, actually yesterday, that I want to see, different community leaders in our community actually do these meetups regularly. So do this kind of like 30 student model meetup where people who don't have accounts are invited to a venue with like free food and free drinks. And in exchange, basically like a 3-hour event where we teach them about INLEO, show them how to use the platform and how it can benefit their life, and then onboard them at the end. And I can like picture in my mind that we've got obviously Sunseeker, Idiosyncratic, Eric, myself. Maybe we can convince Mitch to do one. So that's 4 to 5 people already, and then I'm hoping that we can find other community leaders inside of INLEO who'd be willing to do an event like this where it's INLEO sponsored. We pay for like the event venue, the food, the drinks, and then you get those people in and you get them signed up. So we're going to start doing more of this. I just want to get a really good curriculum and template down with Sunseeker, and then we'll scale it up from there. So that's one thing I wanted to mention in terms of in-person, because Beehiver asked. The second one is, this one's kind of funny. I will see how it goes because I know other people have done similar things, but I actually just ordered a bunch of stickers that have a QR code and talk about earning crypto. And then we're gonna, I've got some people locally in my area. They're gonna help me basically plaster these stickers all over the city, and we're gonna see if people actually sign up. So I actually set up a unique referral code for the stickers now that we've got the referral system, and I'll be able to track if people actually sign up from any of these stickers. And then when they do sign up, I'll be able to tag them on INLEO and try to get them engaged and active. So we'll see if that works. And again, another one of those things where we're just, it's a very low cost way. It's literally like $100 for like 1,000 stickers. So it's a very low cost way to try to onboard people in person. So we'll try to make this work and see if it works. And then, like I said, with the other stuff, make it really successful. And then if it is successful, take that model and scale it up. So then if this works, I'll send 1,000 stickers to, Eric and Idiosyncratic and Sunseeker. And, if you're a community leader and you want to do some of this in-person marketing, I'll send them your way as well. And it's just super cheap. And if we get some users, I was kind of doing the math. At $30, our rough target customer acquisition cost is like $30, kind of on the higher end. So, if you pay $100 for these stickers and your customer acquisition cost target is $30, you literally need to sign up 4 people to make those stickers worth it, and that's 1,000 stickers. So, or for example, like these in-person events, if we invite 30 people and it costs us, say, $300 to do the event, our goal is onboard at least 10 monthly active users that remain active. So obviously at the event, 30 new accounts are going to get created. But if you assume that even 10 of them remain active, then it's worthwhile if you spend like $300 to throw the event. So really important that we just have have these different models in place, try different things. You need to try a lot of things to find what works. When we do find what works, then we scale those up. That's our strategy. Beehiver said amazing on QR codes. I was thinking about that during the discussion. Need to think of finding a smart way to do it. Yeah, and again, I will, if this model works with the sticker thing with QR codes, I've never tried anything like it before. If it works, then I will be able to, send you guys stickers. So like if Beehiver wanted some with your own QR code on it, I can get some made up for you and send them your way, and then you can plaster them in your city, and then they'll have your referral code. So if you put out 1,000 stickers and get 100 signups, you can potentially get up to $50 per signup. That's potentially $500 or if you get 100 signups, potentially $5,000 in rewards. So again, the economics work at scale. So we just need to find ways to scale up. Yeah. SAIG. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Or is it SLG? Maybe it's SLG. If you keep trying the same thing and see no change, try something different. Yeah, it's the definition of insanity is trying the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. So, we're always trying new things, always trying different approaches, and our goal again is to grow the whole pie of Hive. So, I think I think in the next couple of months, you're going to see that, the entire pie of Hive has grown significantly through the efforts that we've really put out into the world on a lot of different fronts. And there's a lot of things, like I just mentioned two things. I mean, there's like, and then we've got the Dash integrations, and then we've got the meme communities that we're working with now. We've got all the different initiatives on X. Like we have so many different irons in the fire right now. It's really just about finding the ones that are working and then just scaling up. Salami said he can produce stickers at home in Europe. Yeah, I can actually send you the design I'm using for the stickers if you want, and then you can see if you can print them with your own referral code on it.
Nice. Yeah, it would be nice to see all of the people, like everyone just getting on board with this idea.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, imagine like 50 different cities across the world because we're obviously a very global community. Imagine 50 different cities just plastered with stickers that say, I'll actually just share an image of what the sticker looks like that I made. Um, I'm just kind of picturing like imagine these stickers just proliferating in all these different cities and people are signing up. And I saw Ahmad Manga mention that retaining is the hard part. Retaining is it's a hard part. I think it's actually equally as hard to get them to even sign up in the first place, probably even harder, just to get them to sign up. The retention part is up to you. And I think that the way we built this referral system really enhances retention because you can sign someone up and you'll get 10 Leo for the sign up. That's really cool. The rest of the rewards, that's a very small piece of the total rewards that you can earn for a referral. The rest of the rewards come as that person becomes more active, when they make 10 blog posts or 500 threads. Like, just onboarding someone won't get you paid very much, but onboarding and retaining someone will get you paid a lot. So the way we built this referral system, I think, is a great way to boost retention because it incentivizes each of you to retain each user that you onboard. And you can easily do so by going to your referral dashboard and you can see the usernames of people that you onboard and you can click on them and then you can it'll open their profile when you click on them. And then you can follow their threads. And if you see that they're not active, you can tag them. And obviously, if you know them in real life, you can text them and say, hey, make a thread, make a blog, like be active, and then I'll upvote it. I'll get other people to upvote it. There's a lot of things you can do to retain them. But it's again, like I keep using this Charlie Munger quote, show me the incentive and I'll show you the outcome. So again, just really try to put the right incentives in place. And I think we did that with the referral system. So really just up to people to actually use it. Sunseeker said, we are aiming at specific localities and niches because onboarding people that already relate with each other gives us more chances of them engaging and staying. We go where our friends go. Yeah, that's such a good mindset. I mean, it's like you look at like Facebook started as a dorm room experiment, but basically to have college campuses, various college campuses join, and then you could communicate with people on your campus. That's basically how Facebook started and grew initially. People want to go where other people they know are spending time. So really, if you want to get people onboarded and retained, you need to onboard them in packs. That's why I'm so heavily focused on the communities, like Dash being a really good example. Is like if 100 people from Dash join and start interacting on INLEO and talking about Dash regularly, then they'll see more of what they want to see. They'll see more of what they want to talk about. M Coins is down and said to send them to California. Yeah, I can. Like I said, I'm gonna make sure that they're successful and make sure we've got a good design. And then, if successful in my area, then I will be. I will definitely send some to other people. So I can get some made with your QR code on them and send them your way. So yeah, let me. The first batch that I ordered is getting here this week, so I'll start plastering them and have some people help me do that as well. And if they work, then we'll scale that up.
I like the word we. Yeah, I mean, just like we've been saying over the past few weeks, there's a team, but there's also a community, and the community has so much more weight in what we can achieve together. And seeing people like Solomon saying, "Hey, I can jump into this," because the incentive it's just me being part of something and helping INLEO get better, then there's it's a no-brainer.
Absolutely. But yeah, there are a couple more questions, but we are getting close to the to an hour and a half. Mitch, any closing thoughts before we jump out of here?
Not really. I mean, just on the ride, watching the progress and chipping in where I can. And always cool to see the questions from fellow community members and especially people that are really passionate about growing the platform. It's pretty cool.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love seeing that we are growing. Last month was a new all-time high in monthly active users, and we just gotta, like I said, take what's working and scale it up, and that's going to be the focus from now till the end of the year. Eric, any closing thoughts from your end?
Mm, I don't think so. I think it was all covered very well.
Cool.
I like the take what's working and keep going with it. I mean, yeah, find what works and then turn the volume up.
Absolutely.
And then always figure out, I don't know, from a broader view, it's like almost just thinking like, all right, why did X get popular? Why does X work? Why do people go on there and communicate all day long? Like, what is it? Is it user experience? Is it ease of use? Is it like-minded people? Is it they just have the topics people want? I don't know, but sometimes just mimicking other successful things is good enough.
Absolutely. Sweet. Yeah, hopefully we hit 100K before the next AMA. Let's see what happens.
We'll see. Buy the dip, not financial advice.
Yeah, I will be buying the dip with the USD proceeds of my Bitcoin. I will be buying the Ethereum and other altcoin dips.
I'm hoping we dip this week and we can buy.
We might.
We
Insert
shall
Jim
see.
Cramer meme.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, sweet. Thanks,
No doubt.
guys. We will see everyone at noon Eastern tomorrow for Chain Chatter. Have a good one.
See you guys.
Peace.